You ready to go, Kory?
I'm ready.
Okay, get your coffee. We'll be
I'm
sure
ready.
to include this too. All right, everybody, welcome to Real Estate Strategies with Remax Hallmark. And today I'm joined by a fantastic guest. He's had a corporate background in IT for a Fortune 500 company before getting into real estate in 2004. He's a former Tom Ferry coach. He was a coach for Tom Ferry for 5 years. And today he is a leadership team member here at Remax Hallmark. And he's currently overseeing the largest region with over 400 agents. And he's also the head coach of KGC, KG as in Kory Gorgani. Welcome, Kory.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
There you go. And we're glad to have you here. So, Kory, today what we're going to be talking about is you did a fantastic session just a few weeks ago across all of our different offices. And it was about the importance of touch points and conversations. And with your coaching background, your real estate background, we sort of want to dive into real estate agents listening to this, the importance, especially now with this market, of having touch points, having various different formats of touch points throughout the year, and how they spark conversations. So why don't you start in terms of, the biggest challenge you see with real estate agents and their attempts to build business and connect with clients?
Right. Well, thank you for the introduction. Wow, that was impressive. Thank you. Thank you. So listen, we had this session, was it mid-August? Mid-August, we had these two sessions in a couple of our offices. And it came about a session that we had a few weeks before that, where we had one of the top producers in the office, and he asked, okay, how many emails or newsletters or touch points do you have? Can't remember what it was. How many touch points do you have with your database? And out of the 40 people, only 3 people raised their hand and said, yes, I'm sending some sort of an email out. Then he asked again, hey, how many times a year are you talking to your database? And the room stayed silent. And that's not how it works. These are people that know us, trust us, have given us business in the past, and they need to hear from us. We always get ticked off when we find out a client has bought or sold with somebody else. Doesn't feel good, Johnder, does it? It doesn't feel good. And we want to give clients reasons for referring us to people that they know, for giving us business. And for that, we need to stay in touch. We don't want to be a secret agent. We want to be their trusted advisor, their trusted agent who receives the referrals and business from them. So that's how the course came about. And we did this, I think we called it 50 meaningful touches, not 50 different ways, but 50 meaningful touches. And to me, that's standard. That's average. Okay, 50 touches to stay connected all year round. So that was the course.
So let me ask you a question then, Kory, because that was the birth or the genesis of the course, or where it started. Why is it that real estate agents, we have a business, we run a business, and you would think that everybody has a strategy down for being able to spark conversations, interact and engage with clients that result in a transaction. Why is it that so many agents are lost when it comes to what they should do to, number one, attract and engage with potential clients to work with, and then number 2, to stay in touch with them?
Okay, that's, if you've read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, he says you are as good as the systems, and you always fall back to this level of systems that you have. It's because we don't have a structure, okay? We get up, we come to work today, okay, so let me make a call. And we are waiting for that phone to ring for somebody that says, hey, I want to buy and sell. No, that's not how it works in today's market. How many agents do we have in Toronto now? Is it 80,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Something, right. So you need to stay top of mind. You need to stay top of mind. And in order to stay top of mind, you need to be in touch with your database. To be in touch with your database, you can't just wing it. You can't get up in the morning and say, hey, today I'm going to make a call. Today I'm going to send an email. Today I'm going to do something. No, you have to have some sort of a system. And the system, it sounds complicated. You're not sending a rocket to the moon. It's a pretty simple checklist of some of the things that you should be doing on a regular basis. And then we put some dates to it and some months or weeks to it, that this is what we're going to be doing daily, this is what we're going to be doing weekly, and this is what we're going to be monthly. Then we take that, we put it into a schedule, we put a date around it, we build accountability around it, and bingo, now we have an SOP. Pretty simple. It's not complicated. But once you have that simple, once you have that structure, once you know what you need to be doing, once you know that newsletter needs to go out, or that single topic email needs to go out, or now it's time to call that part of your database, now you get up with intention, you get up with, you have something to do. And then it all falls together.
Yeah, and so we're not going to be prescriptive in the sense that this is a one-to-many show. Well, two-to-many show, because it's Kory and I talking today. And so every one of you listening to this or watching this, depending on where you're at, is going to have a different approach to this. But Kory, let's take your coaching background, and I want to pick on you a little bit more in terms of how you would approach something like this, because yeah, it's great. I got to do 50 or 50, whatever number of touches per year. I've got to do it in many different ways. And yeah, oh, sure, I'll pick up the phone. Maybe I'll drop off a flyer. I'll drop off a gift. I'll do this. I'll do that. Where does a real estate agent start? And I know here at Remax Hallmark, of course, we sit down with our agents and we guide them through these systems. In the time that we have on this show, maybe let's build one of these together so that somebody listening to this gets the aha moment of, I should do this, step 1, step 2, step 3. First, let's talk about what are the different channels for touch points. Is it just I pick up my phone and I send messages, or I do this, or I do that? What different avenues are there, first of all,
right,
for these touch points to occur?
Right. Well, the meaningful touches to stay connected all year round, it's really a blend of things. Okay, it's a blend of email, direct mail, personal contact, social connections, events, and so on. It's a blend of things. But can I just step back for a minute? In a perfect world, and many would argue with me on this, but believe me, this is in a perfect world based on what I've seen, based on who I've coached, based on who I've worked for and with. 50% of your business needs to come from your database. 50% of your business needs to come from your database. Another 50% needs to come from other sources, at least 2 to 3 other sources. And I always have a diagram that I show. And when we ask people, is 50% of your business coming from your database? Some are 90% coming from their database. Fantastic. But then that's not sustainable. Now, for some other group, maybe 20 or 30% is coming from their database. And now we need to bring that up. So answering your question, sorry, I went off topic. We need a blend of touches as emails, direct mail, personal contact, social connections, and events. And we start with maybe an email update. Okay, you send an email in a monthly newsletter, that's 12 touches a year. Monthly newsletter, that's 12 touches a year. You send out a single topic email, which I'm a huge fan of. A single topic email, 2 times a month, that's 24 touches. You add them together. How many is that? That's 36 touches. That's 36 touches. But however, we also need to bear this in mind, that the average professional or the average person receives anywhere between 90 to 100 emails per day. And when they see another piece of marketing, I call it a pizza flyer. When they receive another pizza flyer, it's delete. Okay, so when you are sending something to me, it needs to be something of value. If you're sending me a monthly newsletter, it shouldn't be just listing, sold, open house. It needs to have some sort of a structure, something that catches my eye, something that wants me to read it. If you're sending me a single topic email, which I love, I've stopped my newsletter, I'm sending weekly single topic emails. It needs to be text-based because there's no marketing in it. There's no graphic, there's no image in it. There's no signature of you. There's none of that. Okay, it's something that 2 or 3 paragraphs, short paragraphs that you can read in less than a minute, and it has your signature, just your name. Okay.
And this is a lot more extensive when you see the handout that Kory gives. And of course, if you ever want to see these, feel free to reach out to Kory. Email address Kory@remaxhallmark.com. Kory. Make sure you spell it Corey.
Thank you.
So this is great. I mean, just between two touch points alone that you've brought up, and this is just talking about email. Like there's also letters, there's also pop-bys, and there's also visits and gifts and community events and all these sorts of things. So Corey, so let's say, for example, a real estate agent listening to this understands, okay, sure, I've got a couple of different ways to reach them: digital, in person, print, whatever. How do they actually come up with, like you said it best, like don't make it a pizza flyer where, we get a ton of different flyers and it ends up getting into the junk bin. How does somebody start to craft, what is it that I actually have to put into this touch point for this week, for this month, for whenever? Like what is the process of coming up with that content?
Well, put yourself in the shoes of a homeowner. What does a homeowner want to know? If you're sending a market update, do they care about absorption rate? Do they care about number of new listings? No, they care about the value of their home. They care about their neighborhood. They care about what's selling and what's not selling. So I always say, if you're sending out a newsletter, okay, let's just talk about the newsletter for a minute. If you're sending a newsletter, it needs to have multiple sections. Start with a personal message. The personal message, it says, "Dear Kory." It doesn't say, this month in real estate. No, that's marketing. Okay, start with a personal message. Translate put it in your own words. You can use ChatGPT if you want to, and you're the best at that. But put it in your own words. What happened with the real estate market in the past month? I always say, start with an intro, a short intro in your own words. Even better if you include a video, something less than 2 minutes. And nowadays you can plug in a video, a YouTube video or a Vimeo video, whatever, you can insert that in there. Start with a video that tells them what's happening with the market in your own words. What happened previous month? What does it, if, for example, interest rates went up, what does it mean to the homeowner? What does it mean to the home seller? And so on. Give them a market snapshot, preferred. Your video is preferred. Use local stats. Use in your newsletter, you can use a home tip. Give them like a seasonal maintenance or value, something that boosts value. Give them a local spotlight. Give them a success story, how you help the client, get into their new home. Tell them about an upcoming event. Include a section that's, ask your agent, answer an actual question, and encourage people to reach out to you and answer that question. And always put a subtle call to action in there as well. And what does that mean? Browse this area or find out the value of this and so on. Put a call to action. And there you have it. It's not rocket science. It's something of value. Okay. And then you send out to your database. Now, when you send that out, it needs to have, don't call it a newsletter, August newsletter. Give it a name. Okay, what happened in so-and-so in the month of August, or summer blues, or give it a something. And there are apps right now, there are websites out there right now that actually can suggest, even ChatGPT. I mean, that's the, one of the free source, can actually give you various newsletter names, something that's catchy, something that makes the reader wants to read it. And once they open it up and there's this video, it says, "Hello, Kory," and there's a video of you that's got a 5-second image. And once they click on it, you're warm, you're friendly, you're standing up, you have lots of energy, and you're talking about what happened in the previous month in the real estate market. So yeah, that's a start, isn't it?
So basically, I mean, don't make it cookie cutter either. Like, for example, I see a lot of real estate agents just copy paste, because you know how it is, Kory, right? Like, you see something, you think it works, and you copy that, and all of a sudden all of your marketing looks the same as everybody else's.
No.
And this is sort of what Kory suggests to do, is don't just take, don't be status quo. Remember that. And what I put into in our workshops, what I like to say is that you're a human being. You have to imagine that at the other end of the line is also another human being. Mm-hmm. And if that were you receiving that message, if that were you receiving that touch point, how would you feel about it? And if I hate to say it, but I mean, one of the acronyms with AI is GIGO, GIGO, which is garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage out.
If you put bad things into it, what do you expect to get? At the same time, I'd like to challenge that if you give your clients garbage, quite frankly, if you don't give them anything of value, what do you think you're going to get out of it as well? Now, on the other side, if you give something great to your clients and to your prospective clients, the ones that you're going to be working with, what do you think that will yield? Talking about yields, Kory, because I mean, again, you're a coach, you're a numbers person, so you crunch these numbers, and we probably won't get exact numbers. Somebody who execute this, like we know that the people who don't execute, they'll get zero, big fat zero.
Right.
But the ones that do execute, and you say 50% has to be from your sphere, but there's also new clientele that you get and different other opportunities. But somebody who does these touches and somebody who does this on a regular basis, what kind of return on investment, whether it's time, sweat equity, or money, check equity, as they say. This is from Tom Ferry. What would they, you like how I use that, right? What would they expect to get as a return on their investment of time or money?
At some point of time, it used to be around 10 to 12% of your database would transact with you. Okay. Now it's sitting anywhere between around 8%. So you've got 100 people. What's 8%? That's another 8 deals. How does that sound? Average check in Toronto, in my town, it's what, $30,000. How does that sound? That sounds pretty good. Now, let me just step back for a second. We talked about newsletter, but I am telling my clients, telling the agents that I work with, newsletter is a fantastic start, gets your feet wet per se. But let's move away from that and let's move to single topic emails. Weekly single topic email. One focus topic written to be read under a minute. And there are so many things that you can, and it's text-based. There's no images, okay? And that's what gets sent out, 3 hidden costs of home ownership, or top 3 mistakes somebody makes, or the truth about interest rate, or the truth about inflation, and so on. Okay, so something that's relevant, something that gets them to open it, read it, and it's signed at the bottom, Johnder. And the biggest piece of real estate comes what's after your name, the PS. Click here for my latest listings in Patterson, for example. Okay, so that, and coming back to your question, about 8% return, and that sounds pretty good.
Which makes sense, because if you're doing something as simple as a single topic email, it's as simple as you can get. I mean, if you want to use AI, feel free to use AI. If you want to, dig deep in terms of, like, what I suggest to our agents is, what issue or what question or what problem did one of your clients encounter? And of course, without sharing the confidential information about it, if somebody else had that problem, how would you write about that? Or what opportunity all of a sudden did exist this week that you didn't know about last week? It's literally as if, I imagine Kory's on the other end of the line and I'm writing an email just to Kory and say, "Dear Kory, wouldn't it be great if this, and that? Well, here's how we can approach it." And there's lots of different topics, right? So Kory, I know this might get dated if somebody's listening to this maybe 5 or 10 years from now, but let's talk about current time. You talked about ChatGPT, which is one of the AI tools. We've got great AI tools that even write emails. Shameless plug, Hallmark Hub.
Yeah.
We have all these kinds of tools. Of course, being the person behind it, I have to plug my own stuff that we create. But what tools are your favorites right now in terms of doing emails, doing marketing, lead generation, all that, digital marketing, all these sorts of things?
Right. So the single topic emails that you're sending out, I always say, write them yourself and then get ChatGPT to correct them. Don't ask ChatGPT to write them for you. Write it yourself. And the tools that I use, there's so many tools out there for sending email news. Bold Trail is probably, one of them that comes top. I use a different tool. I use an actual email platform, and there's kits, there's Flowdesk that I use. There is MailChimp, there's Constant Contact. Doesn't really matter. Just pick one that fits to your budget and use it. Pretty simple. That's what I use in terms of sending my emails out. Now, I use for tracking clients and for tracking my time, for tracking my emails that go out, I use a project management tool. I use ClickUp. You're familiar with Monday or Asana and so, but I use ClickUp. ClickUp is a fantastic tool. These are the 2 tools that I use, ClickUp plus Flowdesk.
Yeah, so there you go. And the important thing there, if you caught it, is use the tool that fits your budget and something that you're actually going to use, because we see a lot of agents sign up for the next shiny object and then they don't end up using it anyway. So it could be the cheapest, it could be the freest. I mean, cheap but good. I mean, you got to look at quality as well.
Right.
Pick a tool that you'll actually use. Well, so Kory, yeah.
Sorry. So the reason that I use Flowdesk is because it allows me to send unlimited number of emails. And I've got a large database of subscribed. It's about 14,000 people that I send on a weekly basis. I send an email to. And Flowdesk allows me to, for one fixed price, it allows me, no, they're not paying me. Okay, for one fixed price, I can send unlimited number of emails per month. So that's what I use.
There you go. So Kory, to finish off, as a leadership team member, leading a lot of realtors here in in Ontario for that matter, because your leadership role spans the province. And as a coach, a real estate coach, we're faced with one of the challenging markets that we've seen in a while. And some agents are newer to the business and they're waking up to the realities of this market. Agents that have been around since the 70s and 80s, they've seen this before. Agents that have been around since just the 2000s have only seen this upmarket and then are seeing the challenges now. What advice would you give to somebody listening to this or watching this in terms of, right now as we're recording this is just the beginning of September. We've got September, October, November, December before we reach a new year. What should they do now to prepare themselves and to get ready to make sure that their business is successful in the year ahead?
Before I answer that, I just want to mention one other thing that, 36 touches or 50 touches, you might say to yourself, oh my God, that's so many. Okay, that's so many. My clients are not going to like it. I say change your mindset instead of one of nuisance to one of service. You're providing a service. You never lose clients because of because of over communicating. You lose clients because of not communicating. Okay. Biggest complaint that clients have, my agency is never returning my calls, is not telling me what's happening with my listing, and so on. So over communicating, you don't lose clients. You actually stay top of mind. Biggest advice that I have right now is we've got 4 months till end of the year. Be intentional. Sit down, write a plan. One goal. What is your goal between now and end of the year? One goal, not a dozen. And that's usually number of contracts or GCI, okay, growth commission. What are the activities that brings you to that goal? Write them down, then select 3 top activities, put them in 3-hour blocks per day and commit to it. And make sure you put the single topic email, the phone call, the newsletter, all of those as part of those action items.
Well, there you go.
And you have a simple plan.
Absolutely. Simple plan is the emphasis there. If you've been listening to this over the past 20 minutes with intentionality, you would have had enough to, from Kory's advice, generate you an extra 1 or 2 deals between now and the rest of the year. So thank you so much for that, Kory. And for those of you who are listening to this on the podcasts, make sure you click follow so that you never miss an episode of Real Estate Strategies with Remax Hallmark. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Leave your questions for Kory, and we'll be sure to answer them. Thanks, Kory, and thank you all for watching and listening this episode of Real Estate Strategies with Remax Hallmark.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.